May the July 5th be with you, 2022. 13th swatting in 98 days. This might be just 20 minutes. Good morning, friends. It's 7 a.m. And yesterday, while I was in town buying my air conditioner, getting free lumber and my food, most of it for the month, somebody called in a swatting call. And my phone was on Do Not Disturb, which I didn't know. And I missed 4 calls from the sheriff. And I didn't learn about this till I got home, because when I pulled up home, I'm like, has somebody been to my house? I noticed some things had changed. My driveway is sand and I rake it. So if somebody steps on it, they leave a trail. And there was 2 footprints from people with shoes probably 11 to maybe 10 and a half to 12. One had deep footprints, which means about 250 pounds, like me. And one, they had like a combat boot, and the other one had a sneaker pattern. So I was like, the sheriff was probably here. And the tire pattern was the same as the sheriff's, which looks like a Michelin tire. I'll have to double check their tires next time I'm here, but it's the same pattern as the tires that were here before. So the sheriff, I can read his voicemail to you. Good afternoon, Mr. Lambright. This is Sergeant blank, Riverside County Sheriff Department. We're outside your property here trying to make contact with you. Once again, we got some more strange calls here saying things like you're suicidal and that you're driving around with a bomb in your car. Oh, hold on. Good morning, this is Wayne.
Hi, Wayne. This is Deputy around Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Good morning, Deputy.
Good morning. Happy late 4th of July. So we went out. We got a swatting call yesterday. My Dorothy left a message on your phone.
Yeah, and my phone was on Do Not Disturb, and I didn't even know that till I got home.
What time did you return?
8 o'clock or so.
And
This is the 13th one. More than 12, less than 14.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I took my Mercedes. I have 2 Mercedes.
Okay. Was there any? I know I have to ask you this protocol. Was it any hotline or anything like that?
No, not at all. I'm not suicidal, and didn't make any bombs. I was actually buying an air conditioner because I want to live. Yeah, I did. Yeah, like it's a very. I'm living off. I have alternating. There's power here, but it's not hooked up, so I'm using solar panels. So I'm making an air conditioner powered by solar, 100%. Yeah, I should be able to achieve, like 24-hour solar and avoid that $500 bill. Yeah.
Okay, well, I just wanted to call you, sir, make sure everything's good. You didn't make any bombs, didn't rape anybody, or
No. And can you give me your name and maybe do you have a case number for it?
yeah, it's Deputy Varel, and let me get to the case over here.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. This would be a case number A as in Adam,
Uh-huh.
22
Uh-huh.
185
Uh-huh.
00
Uh-huh.
25.
25. And Deputy, I'd just like to add a footnote. When I called the non-emergency number this morning and I told the lady it was probably a swatting, and she's like, "What's that?" She actually had never heard of the term called swatting.
It's not that common for dispatchers or
Mm-hmm.
not a common call.
Yeah, I understand. Mm-hmm.
That's why you find it.
Yeah. So my my area for improvement is to like that maybe they should have like a training for all people who work in law enforcement that this is a new federal crime. It's a phenomena that's happening across America. And it's like when I was a kid, people used to ring people's doorbell and run. Ding dong ditch, they called it. Or they would toilet paper people's trees. Well, this is like the digital version of that. And it's really stupid. It's a federal crime. To me, it's attempted murder because I could come out of my home with my cell phone and a deputy could say, "Oh, it looked like a gun."
Well, the thing is that you always totally get what you're saying, that you're very cooperative and you have your hands up high and everything's recorded, everybody sees everything. So
Yeah.
we try to be at least at a distance from a distance, and we try to be all of the above for your safety and all.
Thank you.
So we appreciate your cooperation and everything, and thank you for answering. Yesterday we tried to call you so many times to try to avoid you, and
Yeah.
unfortunately you never answer your phone, and my concern is from going out there and we get these swatting calls for whatever reason.
Well, I do answer my phone because I answered your call. I am new to cell phones. For 20 years, I did not have a cell phone. But from 1990 to the year 2000, for 10 years, I had cell phones when nobody did. So I'm new to smartphones. And this thing has been going on do not disturb by like it's got a mind of its own. And sometimes I don't know when it's doing that. And as soon as I got the message he left me, I did call back right away. But it was 4th of July. Yeah.
So when did you end up getting a cell phone? Because these cell phones do get upgraded. Like even I don't know how to work it all too well myself. Like the dialing.
Well, yeah, like the screen has a mind of its own. Like it starts dialing people by accident. So a year and a half ago, I'm actually a toast. You ever heard of Toastmasters by chance? Public speaking organization. Well, I'm a professional public speaker. Toastmasters is a group of people, public speaking and leadership organization. It's over 100 years old. And so spoken communication is imperative to me. I need a clear signal. So I wanted to have a landline. And so I got divorced in 2001 and cell phones used to be expensive. So I was saving all that money by just having a landline and nobody was calling me anyways. And as a computer programmer, I worked from home. So I was like, I was home all the time. So if you needed to get me, you could just get me at home. So I didn't even need a cell phone. And I also like the freedom of being when I'm away from the house, I'm free. Nobody can get me kind of thing. But to answer the question was when I got evicted without a summons for paying my rent. Do you know I was evicted for paying my rent? This is like, it's just like, yeah, well, I've had a cell phone for a year and a half, maybe coming up a year and a half at least. I've had a cell phone. But anyways, yeah, I'm not suicidal. I'm a little bummed out about what's going on because there's only so many hours in the day, and like I'm working hard to earn a living, and to save my own life. Like this air conditioning is not so easy. I've been working on this for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? I know. Yeah. I got a swimming pool now. 125. The highest recorded temperature on Earth was like 128 recently. It's hotter than Death Valley here. I've been checking the weather at Death Valley. Mm-hmm. Well, but do you understand that the people who are torturing me are trying to kill me actually? And I got a death threat. The license plate number of my car? Yeah, I share photos of my car. Why would I think I'd be safer? Like I don't live in fear. Like I don't fear people fucking with me. And now people are fucking with me.
No, no, I fully get it, but you might want to, you know, it's just a safety thing, but you can share whatever you want. You obviously getting targeted by whoever this person is. So, you know, you're like, I don't like to be targeted, but yeah, again, I'm not gonna,
Well, they're sharing my. So I got a death threat yesterday. A guy told me I better buy a gun because he's going to come to my home and rape me. So,
do you have that guy's information or anything like
yeah,
that?
I got his phone number he called me from. I got the voicemail he left me. I have the Twitter messages. He said he made the threat on Twitter and then he called me. So, I would like to open an investigation. That was going to be a different call, but if we can do it on this call, that would be great.
What did he say? So you said on Twitter, and then he called you, and you asked him to talk to you, and you still gonna answer his phone call?
No, I didn't answer his phone call. I let it go to voicemail. And he says a bunch of just uh, let me get that. Hold on. So no 7895. All right, deputy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the number is 707 895 7659.
What's the guy's name?
He goes by the name of Thug Hunter. THUG Hunter. And this is a person who makes gay videos of men having sex who happen to be just black, apparently. He's been harassing me for months. When I do a live stream, he hops onto the chat saying, how about I give you money and so I can have sex with you? And I'm like, quit talking to me, never talk to me again, leave me alone. You're harassing me. He's on. Yeah. And he's saying to me, it starts off with, how about I give you 300 cash? No mention of sex. And I say, yeah, you're welcome. Because I get donations from the public. And I said, you can donate to my thing. And then he says, I want to do this to you. I want to, have anal sex with you, which I find highly offensive.
Okay, I will, like I said, there's that incident number, and I will talk to our investigators on it, but they're gonna tell you the same thing that I just tell you also. Just block your number, try not to share your police or your location or anything like that, because obviously, whether it's him or anybody else,
Mhm.
whoever's doing this, you know, keep bugging you and keep,
Yeah.
fighting you.
Well, it's not one person. It's many people.
Yeah.
Don't you find it, I mean, deputy, don't you find it weird that the FBI cannot find out who this is because I've been working with the FBI since October. So since October, like we're talking almost 7 months now, this person is more slipperier than Osama bin Laden or some high profile bank robber. They can't find out who this person is. They're calling in bomb threats. Like they called in a bomb threat 2 days ago to Texas. Do you know what Twitch is? Twitch is a streaming service. It's like YouTube, but it's mostly for gamers. Well, they had something called Twitch raids, where streamers were having raids, and then people would be in the chat. Hundreds of bots were attacking these people with my name in it, calling people all kinds of profanities. So this group of people are harassing others, and then they include my name in the harassment. Like there could be thousands of people who have been tortured and has nothing to do with me, but then they include my name. Well, like on YouTube, on a YouTube video, when there's a streamer, people can talk in the chat. You're probably familiar with a chat feature. So in the chat feature, there's innocent people having a conversation. Then the raiders, the people who aren't normally part of that chat, come in there and start being rude to other people. So they call other people names, and then they say that they are somehow associated with me, or their screen name is Wayne Lambright. Because I'm a politician, and they don't want me to be known. All right, I'm a Democrat, so the Democrats already have their politicians. So they didn't want my campaign getting any publicity because my offering was better. So they're trying to suppress my name. So like my name is suppressed through the internet. So people are using my name as cover to get away with bad behavior. I know it's complicated.
I will make sure I write all my
Yeah.
Honestly, the investigator will get the file number and get the information about the whole FBI thing. He's not fine with that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand myself, so I hope they're.
Well, I sent, I'm a computer programmer, and one of my computer programmer friends told me like how the police actually find the number, and I sent this information to the detective at the sheriff's department, but it's an XQRD search, and so it like law enforcement has the ability to do a search live to find like if it's you see one number, but you do a search on that number, it tells you the real number behind that number. So it unmasks the alias number. Yeah. So yeah. It's basically lots of shenanigans. All right. You too. Bye bye. Good morning, Coomer. And I see the Thug Hunter is here. Thug Hunter, you're gonna be arrested. All right. Your behavior is absolutely worthy of jail time. You're gonna go to jail, Thug Hunter. I don't know what your problem is. I really don't. I don't know how many minutes that took. But that's what it's like, I have to. You heard part of what I was saying. So when I called the non-emergency number this morning, the lady answering the phones doesn't know what swatting is. It's a very new term to her, and then the deputy's telling me, well, it's a new thing and people don't know about it. Like if I worked at the sheriff's department, I would make a memo and send it around to everybody. There's a new type of crime going on called swatting. Here's what it is, and give them a few descriptions of what's going on. Like literally, if one person at the sheriff's department who answers the phone at the non-emergency dispatch, she's a sheriff, right? She's a deputy. If she doesn't know, how do I know that deputies with guns don't know? Like deputies, any deputy that's in a squad car that comes out here with a gun, they need to be informed what swatting is. So swatting, in my eyes, is attempted murder. It is a felony. They're trying to project an image of fear and danger to the police. So the police come out thinking, oh my God, we're going out to a murder scene and the guy's still got a gun and he's suicidal. He might be shooting at us. So that's why they're super worried. And the deputy, she had said, you've always been polite and respectful, came out with your hands up and everything. Yeah, because I'm afraid for my life. Well, Thug Hunter goes to jail for harassment, for sexual solicitation, seeking sexual services for money, unwanted sexual advances, online harassment, doxing, telling me I better get a gun because he's going to come out here and rape me. So creating real fear, Like I'm actually thinking of getting a gun, so when you do come out here, Thug Hunter, I'll blow your fucking head off. Then I'll end up going to jail for shooting you. And the deputy did agree. It is pretty weird that the FBI can't figure it out. She agrees with me. She thinks it's weird too. So I think I think the sheriff is now being, I'm opening her eyes to what could be going on. And she actually was I think she might be the first deputy who was here on the first swatting who put me in handcuffs, one of the ladies, because she remembered coming out. And I was super politeful to them. I'm always politeful to them. They're a professional organization, and I need to be a professional myself because I'm a business professional. You know who's not a business professional? Criminals. Yes, Thug Hunter, you can go to jail for offering people money for sex. You're an idiot. Why don't you call the police station and start offering, say to them what you say to me and see how fast it turns around on you. Oh, now you're going to come here tomorrow at 2 p.m.? See, that's another threat. Ridiculous. I'm going to ban you. You're sabotaging my stream. The sheriff was, well, how do they get your license number of your car, Wayne? Well, I'm share photos of my car. I don't live in fear. I mean, I'm starting to live in some fear of people saying I better buy a gun. They're going to come out and rape me. They got my home address. So they proved they know where I live. They're telling me they're going to rape me. They're malicious. They're vicious and persistent on social media. They won't leave me alone. So they're stalking me. That's a threat. Okay. You're going to jail, piece of shit. I'm gonna work with the local sheriff as much as I can to find out who's doing this. Because maybe the FBI isn't investigating it, and maybe the local sheriff will be able to find out who is doing this. Yeah. The worst part for me is I don't have any time to do that. Like this was my morning. I haven't eaten any food. I don't eat in the morning anyways, but it might be better if I did start eating in the morning, giving myself stable energy through the day. I was having my first coffee in a month. And I know what the sheriff wants to do. They want to come out here and talk to me, or they want me to go down there and talk to them. I'm fearful of talking to law enforcement because they've exhibited a behavior of wanting to choose the easiest path. Like last time I talked to a guy in charge at the sheriff department, he's like, well, we want to get a copy of your laptop and your phone to do a deep then we'll start an investigation. I'm like, you haven't started an investigation? Like why don't we get a copy of your phone, buddy? Because your phone is as guilty as my phone. I'm not making the calls, so you don't need to see my phone, and you don't need to see my laptop. And my laptop is virtually useless. It's a terminal for the internet. I don't do anything on the laptop. If I write a document, it's in my Google Docs. So if you want to get a subpoena to read my emails and my docs, then you can. But I don't want to give away my laptop, and I'll tell you specifically why. Um, they could find out what my trip code is, and nobody knows my trip code for 4chan, and I don't want that revealed. I don't want anybody to know what my trip code is. I don't, and also through my Google Chrome, it's got that password reminder that would give them access to my email address without a subpoena. So if they want a subpoena, then they can go in there and, Google, they can get a subpoena from Google, then Google can give them access. So they can enter that way lawfully, and then they can record what they're looking for, because a subpoena says they're only allowed to look for certain things. So they need to enter my information, because I have privacy, like I'm a private guy. I don't want people nosing around my life. I don't want people going through my private things. Um, there's the thing. Well, why not? If you're innocent, you have nothing to hide. Everybody has something to hide, okay? And the other thing is that people's privacy is their privacy. Their time is their privacy. I don't have anything to hide, but it's my time, okay? It's a waste of time. I don't want to be answering any questions about any conversations I'm having. Clearly, the thug hunters are here harassing me. I know it's a group of 10 people or 100 people, whoever you are, you're totally immature. You're breaking the law. This karma is going to come back to haunt you, okay? You're really destroying my life. You need to stop. This is just absolutely insanity what's going on. I hope this is possible. When I was talking to the deputy the other day, I was like, well, why don't you tap my phone so when I get all these messages, you can get them too? And he's like, well, that's a really big deal. We got to ask a judge. It's a federal judge. And I'm like, can't I give you permission to listen to my calls? That's right, Food Drip fan. The people in your Discord are probably the ones stalking you. Absolutely, some of those people could be stalking me. When you're a public figure, I'm a small celebrity. All right. So people are curious about my life. This is how I intend to win politics, by sharing my life. We form a relationship that I'm a normal guy. I have as many ups and downs as everybody else. And by me sharing my life, that I'm authentic. That I'm truthful. Think about this. Politicians don't share this because they're liars, most of them. By me sharing my life and being authentic with you, you can trust me. This is why you're going to vote for me. This is how we change the system. We quit putting on pretenses. They call it putting on airs, an air of somebody who they pretend to be, but they're really not. Okay. So by you guys knowing my life, my ups and downs, I'm being truthful. That's why I do these videos. That's why I share my stuff on social media. And the deputy was giving me advice. Well, don't share your driver's license, the license plate of your car or any of that stuff. I'm not going to be living my life living in fear. Like, I would have a gun if it wasn't for the sheriff. Like, the sheriff scares me. I might have to get a gun because there are enough, John Lennon was killed by a crackpot. Somebody wanted to be as famous as John Lennon, so they murdered him so they could have fame, and now they're rotting in prison. So there are crackpots who will kill celebrities just for the fame because they're so insecure and they desire so much attention that they think that's the path. They're fucked up, broken people. They really are. So I haven't felt the need to own a firearm for many years. For personal defense. I've got hammers. I mean, I don't have any defense against somebody pointing a gun at me. But when it comes to a physical fight, I'm a pretty strong guy. I used to be a wrestler, okay? So, if somebody comes fighting me, we're both going to get hurt. All right? I'm okay with getting hurt because I'm going to hurt you. You got to understand that. You come fuck with me, you might win, but you're going to get injured. It's going to be bad. I just don't want to have to buy a firearm because I'd use it. So I think running, I'll talk about running for Congress. Somebody suggested I run for the Riverside seat of the House of Representatives. There's a chance that could happen. The way I see it, I need to complete my bidding for president for this election cycle, so I don't see that happening until after the presidential election. You just never know what can happen. These presidential candidates could drop out of the race. At the last minute, something could be found out that they murdered somebody, they had sex with children. Anything can happen, all right? I'm the truthful one here. I've been speaking this truth for 6 years and 11 months. My story hasn't changed about what's going on in America. And I'll tell you what it is. First of all, there's Black Project top secret patents on technology that's so revolutionary, they won't let the public have it. That's weird. There's something so good, they won't release it to the public because it would make the world a better place instantly. They say it's because it would give our enemies an advantage. It's so powerful, it would change the world overnight. That's how powerful this technology is. And that's why they keep it secret. They also keep us suppressed. They're afraid that if this technology got out, that their power structure would crumble. Well, right now, their power structure is enslaving us. And I don't like that. I don't like being a slave. They've enslaved the politicians. The politicians can't even say what they want because they've sold their soul. They've got blackmail on them. They've made agreements to do certain things for certain amounts of money. They've sold their soul to the devil. So I'm trying to change this from the top down, not from the bottom up. And I'm doing this in a super unconventional way. I'm using the power of social media to get my message out, how I'm going to change it. I'm not being secretive about it. I'm telling you how I'm doing it, how I'm going to do it, and I'm telling you what my message is. If you remember my website, I had universal basic income, $3,700 for veterans, $3,500 for seniors, $1,500 for citizens, and $1,700 for veteran citizens. And this money went to everybody, even if you did have a job. So you got the money, you got universal basic income no matter what. You can still go get another job and you don't have to pay back that universal basic income. Why? Because America's so prosperous, we can afford this. We can afford to give money to our citizens because the land is rich and it's full of resources that right now, those valuable resources, oil, gold, timber, they're being given away to a few chosen elites. And then they get to pocket all that money. That's crazy. That is the people's land. It's the people's money. Joe Biden should nationalize our oil. We should create the National Oil Company or the National Oil. Give me a minute. The Department of Oil. and the Department of Refinery and the Department of Drilling. These are federal agencies that have employees that drill for oil, that refine oil. Yeah, because it's a federal asset. We got the Department of Highway and Transportation, right? For highways, because we have free highways. What if all the roads were toll roads and you had to pay money everywhere you went? Wouldn't that stifle the economy? Of course. What if education, you had to pay for it? Some wouldn't go. This is why we have free things. Other people, well, that's socialism, Wayne. Well, we're a socialist country. We do all the behavior of socialism, but we call ourselves capitalism. There's nothing in the Constitution that says we're a capitalist society. It's a behavior. It's a mindset. People are hypnotized, all right? It's going to take a while to unhypnotize people. Like people are always saying, well, the media said this, it was on the television. The television's not your friend. They're liars. They don't speak the truth. Very often they're wrong. It's misdirection. It's misinformation. So quit talking about it. It's just absolute, it's nonsense. So we don't, in our private lives, we all know somebody who doesn't tell the truth. And we don't say, you know what Larry the Liar said? Is that true? No, it's not true because he's Larry the Liar. So quit having conversations about Larry the Liar. Don't ever bring his name up ever again. He doesn't exist to you because he's a bad source of information. He's not credible. And so when somebody loses their credibility, you cut them out of your life. So the media have lost their credibility and you need to cut them out of your life. Okay, I'll give you another analogy. Bad relationships. When you're in a dysfunctional relationship with somebody and it's not working out, you cut them out. You get divorced, you break up, you move on with your life. Hopefully you don't talk to them anymore because it was so bad, because they were so opposite of you in your truth, right? You don't engage with those people. So that was a toxic relationship. And what'd you do? You broke up with them and you moved on. And one thing you don't do is, you know what my ex said the other day? Blah, 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 blah. You don't do that because they don't exist to you anymore, because their information is tainted, toxic, or just blatantly false. So the media, when you turn on the television, those newscasters, they're not allowed to talk about what they want to talk about. They're forced to talk about the narrative. And there's certain words they have to say and say it a certain way. This is theater, folks. This is theater. Why do they do it? For the money. They've sold their soul for the money and for fame. You know, a lot of people enter these jobs with idealism. You know, I'll get the story out. If I was only a newscaster, they'll let me run my own story someday. No, they won't. People become police officers because they believe they'll be able to help people. They don't. They can't. They try to help people. It's thwarted. They're not allowed to do things. Charges dismissed. There is police corruption. It does exist. That's why they have internal affairs departments. There are police officers doing illegal drugs right now, and at the same time arresting people for doing those same illegal drugs. That's happening. I knew a cop at AA. He's not a cop anymore, but he said he used to pull people over, and if they had marijuana, he would take their marijuana. That's when it was illegal. And he wouldn't write them a ticket, but he'd go home and smoke it. Yeah. He also had a drop weapon, which was if he had shot somebody, he'd drop a weapon and say that was their gun. So there are corrupt police officers. These thug hunter people just, I'm banning you all from the channel. Why waste your time making all these accounts? You're just ridiculous. My favorite comedian might be Dave Chappelle. He really speaks a good truth. Dave Chappelle. There's lots of good comedians. George Carlin, he's passed away now. My favorite George Carlin is The American Dream. The reason it's a dream is because you're never going to get it. You've got to be asleep to achieve the American dream. I don't know who Norm is. I was thinking about this video I did the other day, and I kept telling the sheriff, just do your job. Do your job. Do your fucking job. And, I was super angry through that whole video. And I can imagine somebody in law enforcement watching a bunch of my videos all at once, and they'll be like, Wayne's manic. Because on one video, he's angry, and like today's video, I'm pretty calm. I'm not manic. I've got a vocal range. I can isolate my behavior to one area if I want. The police do need to do their job. I was raised in a family that if you don't have time to do it right, don't do it at all. You've got to take pride in what you do. 100%. Like, I demand exceptionalism. I demand exceptionalism. I demand it of myself. Norm Macdonald. I only know a little bit about him. He can be funny, I guess. I spend my time on myself. I spend my time learning. There are times when I used to watch movies. I had like 2,500 movie reviews on Netflix, not written, but just the stars. I might have wrote a few reviews, but I just used to give them stars. And I did that so I was hoping it would recommend other movies to me based on my star rating. And their system kind of did work for that. Yeah, I used to watch a lot of movies because I thought I was going to be a movie maker, not because I really had a story to tell, because I wanted to be rich. So when you just want to be rich and you just want to have money, that's not enough. That's not enough motivation to be successful because your heart is not in it. Like, I want gravity control because I want a Jetson car, not because I want to get rich. If I get rich from gravity control, hey, that'd be great. But the probability of me getting rich from gravity control is low. I just want gravity control. So this is why I've already given away the secrets, you guys. I've already told you everything there is to know about gravity control. I gave away the secrets. In case I die, people pull up Wayne's old videos. I gave you all the information you needed to know. Gravity, the center of the earth, the iron core is actually an electric magnet. Where's the power come from, Wayne? It's induced from the sun. Electrical induction discovered by Michael Faraday. So the voltage is past 100,000 volts to make an electric magnet, and then everything sticks to it. You can make a gold magnet. Imagine putting a magnet in ocean water and sticking everything to it, then turning off the power of that gold magnet, that magnet in the ocean, and collecting all the stuff that was stuck to it. You would have gold. There's an ounce of gold for every cubic mile of seawater. Dude, at the mouth of a river that's bearing gold, like in Alaska, you're going to get a lot of gold. Like, literally, anybody got a boat? We could build this up. We could build this magnet, go sit at the mouth of a river and just put it in the water like we're fishing, and just collect the gold floating in the water. You're not supposed to be able to make a gold magnet, but I've already seen it work. Information, obviously trade secrets are important for people who are obsessed with making money. I'm obsessed with changing the world. And, Elon Musk, he's the world's richest man right now, but he's not changing the world. You think he's changing the world with his rockets? I got to believe Elon Musk knows that anti-gravity exists, and he's not fanatical about building anti-gravity. If Elon Musk would just give me a small amount of money, $1 million, could I do it for $1 million? Well, we could build a prototype that flew humans for $1 million into outer space. No rockets, no fuel. I'm sure I could build a UFO machine with one Tesla car battery pack. So I'm not going to live forever, friends. I'm 53. I'm doing my very best to live as long as possible, and I'm hoping to achieve 100 years. I stay out of the sun. I wear sunscreen. I wear long sleeves when I'm here at the house. I wear a hat. I don't want to get melanoma. I had a colonoscopy, where they put the thing up and inspect your intestines for everything. Everything's good down there. But the point is, we don't live forever. So life is not a dress rehearsal. We only get one chance at this, and we got to do our very best to achieve our goals. And being rich is just not a goal. Having a number on your richness, that's a goal. That's the beginning of a goal. If you're like, I want to be a billionaire, great. How do you make $1 billion? Start a company, go public, you make your money from the stock. That's how you make $1 billion. Do you want to have $1 billion of cash just sitting in the bank account? Why? What are you going to do with that cash? Just look at it? Well, I want to help people. Well, you don't need $1 billion to help people. You can go help them right now. So you got to be really clear what you want to do with your life. Just having money for money's sake doesn't do anything. It just feeds your ego. And the other thing is, most people live in their ego is the outward projection of who they think they are. The ego is the outward projection of who they think they are. So if you're not achieving your goals, check your ego. Ask yourself, does my ego project the image of who I'm trying to be? I want to talk about these cute women that say hi to you on Twitter. Mostly Chinese women. They do these faces. They do all these just weird poses. I'm like, is there some hypnosis going on with these poses? It's really funny. It's like, I call it stripper magic. There's something happening here. And then so these Chinese women will post photos from a hotel eating food, luxury items. One girl had Mickey Moto pearls. She had a really nice outfit on. It looked like she was sitting in a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. So she's projecting an image of wealth and affluence. And I'm like, this looks like new money, nouveau riche. She could be a Bitcoin millionaire. I didn't know. But then she's wearing her baseball cap backwards like a gangster. And I told her, I'm like, you look really beautiful in some of your other photos, but when you wear your baseball cap backwards in America, you're associating yourself with the lower class, with the thugs. I said, so this ruining your whole image. Like, I find you sexy in these photos, but in that photo with your baseball cap, I wouldn't have nothing to do with you. I wouldn't date you. I wouldn't marry you. If we were married and you started wearing your baseball cap backwards, I would find all your baseball caps. I would cut them in half and throw them in the trash. I would stop that behavior. I just don't like it. It's not elegant. And I took a picture. She had a wedding photo of two of her Chinese friends being married, and it was a very beautiful wedding, very beautiful dress. And I drew a baseball cap backwards on the bride's head. And I'm like, would you wear a baseball cap to your wedding? And then she replied back, okay, I'll change my photo. She finally got it, that she's projecting an image that doesn't merge with her other images. What image am I projecting? Well, my Hawaiian shirts say that I'm a carefree loving dude because I am a carefree loving dude. My big mustache, I call this the cop mustache. And I'll probably have it for another week. I'm going to trim it right here. Those hairs are getting in the way. And the beard is too hot, especially for the summer, and it gets itchy, and I don't like that. I think I look better clean shaven. It's more business professional. If you look at older executives of companies, CEOs, if you had 1,000 photos of CEOs, of course, I'm saying they're women, most of them are clean shaven. So right now, society accepts clean shaven men as executive leaders. I'm not too we've only had a few American presidents with a beard. And so for me to be bidding for president with facial hair is counterculture. It's not intuitive, and I don't look presidential. So it's important, if I want to be president, I look presidential. I start using the backdrop, my American flag. I put on my suit. I put on my suit and tie. That's coming back. I'm probably going to build a stage outside. I'm thinking about building a stage that looks like the White House press room. So when I give speeches, I'll be at a podium. It might have a seal, President of the United States, and I'll walk onto my stage and give you guys a presentation, and it will look presidential because it'll be a copy of what's at the White House. That's projection. That's imagery. That's association. If I want to be a rapper, I'm going to take photos of me next to a wall with spray paint on it and graffiti. You get it, right? So you can create any image you want. Just be careful what image you do create. I'll also show you my life in my shed here because that's who I am right now. I'm a guy's life who's upside down. I'm recovering. I'm living in a shed. It's not the best, and I'm making the best of it. Sadly, there was a shooting yesterday, and I got to be careful what I say on YouTube. Is there any photos of the bodies? Is there photos of the blood? There is a chance this could be theater and that people really did not die. Are there many eyewitness videos? Because that would be interesting. Like, it's social media. Nearly every person there had a video recording device. Are there photos of the injured people, or have they scrubbed them from the internet because it's just too tragic to see? Because if they're going to pull the "it's just too tragic to see" card, could be a cover-up. We might want to put a calendar out and put how many shootings happen, and then there's a shooting and do an average. There might be a mass shooting every 7 days. So we need to watch for the velocity. If that gap starts 6 days, 5 days, or it lengthens, because if it lengthens, that means then one's coming if they are manufactured events, staged. If you've ever read the job application, the jobs available at the CIA, and I have read them, you will see jobs for theater, makeup artists, people, wig makers, lots of theater, because disguises. Spy movies have disguises, right? Well, what are they doing under that disguise when they're doing their bad behavior? Have you considered what they're doing? So It's illegal for the CIA to run operations in America. Do you think they're really following the law? Cocaine Import Agency. Is it legal for the CIA to import cocaine? No, of course not. Then why was a CIA owned jet found crashed in Colombia with, I think, 800 pounds of cocaine on it? A lot of these news stories, they don't want out, right? So there's a pretty good chance that they're doing acts of sabotage within our borders against our citizens. You can always join them. Yeah. You know, the CIA is definitely waging a global war for sure. It is us against them. And them is basically the Russians. The Russians have the power. They have as much power as we do. For as many people that love America, there's an equal amount of people who hate America. And if you hate America, where can you go? Russia has its doors open to you. Yeah, we hate those bastards also. You want to fight them? Yes, I do. You know, that's what the person might say. I don't want to fight America. I'm trying to bring peace to the world. Like right now, the world fights over oil. Gasoline is the most dense resource on Earth. 1 gallon of gas is equivalent to 30 human hours. How'd they come up with that number? I don't really know, but just think about it. How long would it take a human to dig a ditch, like with a shovel? Well, let's say 30 hours. So with a gallon of gas, a machine can dig that ditch in 1 hour. Well, they can dig the ditch, which is the equivalent of 30 human hours. So it has such a dense power within it to achieve this productivity. Yeah. The shooter yesterday appeared to be a lefty, and he had a tattoo of a leftist organization on it. It's not over. They're ramping up their attacks on Americans. And the closer we come to the election, we're 17 months away from the presidential election. The closer we get, the more the anti-conservative behavior is going to happen. All the bad guys will be conservatives or people who are enemies of the Democrats or enemies of the New World Order. So just, you're going to see this coming. Expect it. Also expect a second lockdown because of monkeypox. There's 6,800 cases of monkeypox worldwide. And just know those are only people tested. New York City can only test 20 people a day. But there's millions of people who live in New York City, but they can only test 20 people per day. So that's a tragedy. That's a public health issue right now, that there isn't enough monkeypox testing. And I think they're purposely ignoring this, so the virus does spread. And one book said it was a 17% lethality, which is 1 in 6. 1 in 5.88 to be precise. COVID, based on my research, is 1 in 380 die. Something like that. I got an air conditioner yesterday, 8,000 BTUs, and it's 700 watts of power. My coffee maker used 700 watts of power. So I can run it off 5 solar panels, which is pretty exciting. I think I got enough resources to get all that going. My biggest fear right now is that the sheriff would concoct some idea in their head and then arrest me for something I didn't do. Then all my life comes crumbling down. Yeah, they would have to release me in a week or a few weeks or a month or whatever, but how much of my life would be destroyed in that 1 month? Would they lock up my shed when they arrest me? Probably not. To be like, call a friend and have them do it, Wayne. We're not going to do that. You're a criminal now, And then so people might rob my shed. So I'm fearful of things like that. Hopefully they won't do anything like that. I don't like the sheriff looking at me like, are you doing this, Wayne? I don't like that. It makes me not want to work with them, but I'm going to work with them. What am I doing? I'm cleaning up Q-tips. Got dirty Q-tips on my desk here. Oh, I took some night photos the other day. Let me show you. This is my camera, my beautiful Nikon. See the blue and the white? Those are stars at night. I took it on I laid it on the table, push the button and don't touch it for 30 seconds. Sometimes I put it on the tripod. I'll show you motor drive. I'll let you hear it. Maybe I won't. Maybe it won't. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oops. Let's try this. There we go. It'll take 40 photos, 8 per second. So it's a high-speed camera. And there's a little sensor to track like a person if they're moving to refocus. This is a 2004 camera, which means designed in like 2002 and 2003. You can buy them now used on eBay for about $400. People say I look serious most of the time. Well, I am serious most of the time. I don't joke around. I don't have time to joke around. If the boat was sinking and your captain is telling jokes, that's not business professional. There's only so much time and we got lives to save. Yeah, I do take care of my house. I wonder what the temperature is going to be today. Let me see. Oh, only 103. That's actually nothing. That's an easy day. The sheriff was telling me it's going to be 125 degrees this summer. We'll have days at 120 to 125. That's bananas. I might just turn off these chats so you guys can't come in here and insult me. You keep insulting me and you're creating a breadcrumb trail to your account, which will get you arrested. So keep it up, idiots. Well, I don't have anything else to say, so we'll conclude with that. See you later.